How you doing, guys? Welcome to another episode of the EC Twins podcast.
Yes, we're back by unpopular demand.
Absolutely no demand, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's true. Other than our boredom and kind of exhaustion at having to explain ourselves on Instagram stories.
In 60-second increments. Is it 60 seconds you get on an Instagram story?
I think so.
It's not long enough to explain yourself fully, is it?
And of course, we're here to talk about the
world-changing rocket launch with Katy Perry.
What's it called?
Blue Origin.
Blue Origin, right.
The Blue Origin rocket launch, and whether or not you were suspicious about it. I don't even care whether you think it happened or whether you believe it didn't happen. I want to know, are you at all suspicious? Because
if people could tell us if they think, did it happen? Did they actually go? Was the whole thing fake with like some theories? But we're going to talk about it, whether it's fake or whether it's not. We're still going to...
I'm less interested in whether asking people did it or did it not happen is too definitive. I want to know, are you at least suspicious? Because I've seen crazy bastards on both sides.
Yeah.
I've seen crazy guys who always end up they're just trying to keep us away from God or something like that.
No,
You've gone a little far there,
I've got
guys.
crazy people every single... Me and you wore a dress for Coachella.
Right.
As a joke.
Right.
And he said, it's a humiliation ritual for you guys,
No, it's hilarious.
No,
it's not even hilarious.
Yeah, it's just us humiliating ourselves for our own entertainment.
But that's what I'm talking about. We discussed that today, how everybody, when they get to a certain level, this guy's a psyop.
Yeah, this guy's a plant.
First of all, we took that photo about... 5 years ago?
Well, even the one where we dressed like the Fashion Week one.
Oh, yeah?
Where we dressed in the stupid clothes for Fashion Week. I wouldn't even say some girls' clothes were there.
Some
boys' clothes. I had a Trader Joe's bag on my head.
A bra on my head or something.
A bra on your head.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so like weird science. Yeah. So apparently that was me and you going through some kind of humiliation ritual.
Rather than the fact that we was...
We're CIA ops, Mark.
Rather than the fact that we was in fact trolling girls...
dickheads who wear Balenciaga.
No, well, that was the Fashion Week one, but the one where we were physically dressed like women, we were trolling the type of women who go to Coachella and search for a party.
Native Americans.
The only part of that that's actually humiliating is I had a pair of Lycra shorts on, and if you zoom in, you can see what I'm playing with.
Your penis looked like a Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, I must be a grower guy. I mean, whatever. I'm not,
I've heard you're not even a grower. But
yeah, I think you can take one look at me and see that.
I've heard from girls who slept with you who are not even a grower.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
I said I'm not. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I said you've got no. And I know I'm the same as you down there. So
yeah.
That's what I heard.
I was hoping I was at least.
I heard a rumour about you that could quite easily offend me. I'm like, I'm hope.
I mean, I'm sure I had an okay time. So
you probably had an okay time. She really didn't, but that's a whole other story.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna guess who you're talking about, and I didn't have an okay time either. But I don't want to offend anybody. Anyway, it was whack and it was my fault.
Probably a bit of both.
Right. True.
I've heard both sides of the story, so I think you're both to blame.
But I at least admit to my side.
Yeah.
My apportionment of the blame.
Yeah. But yeah, the Blue Origin, which I can't stop calling the Blue Oyster. What do we call it? Flight? Launch?
The Blue Origin rocket?
Yeah.
Space shuttle? It's not
mission?
Shuttle,
Space mission?
They can call it what they want.
So first of all, we'd like to know if you guys think it was staged, it was fake, or if it was actually real. But first of all, let's talk about it from the standpoint that it actually happened, Mark. It actually happened. We're gonna believe for this portion of the podcast that it actually happened. How many girls went to space?
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 6 was it?
It was, as you rightfully say.
Okay, you can try and list them.
The girl who goes down on
Oprah Winfrey's lesbian lover.
Yeah.
Some black chick who have no idea.
She's a scientist, apparently.
Is she a scientist? Mm-hmm. Some, I guess, like older white chick. Do you know who she was?
No, don't know who she was. So I forgot about her.
Grown up, fully grown John Benet Ramsey.
Yeah, Katy Perry, or according to our conspiracy theories,
the woman who sleeps. The woman who sleeps with Jeff Bezos.
Yes, the woman with all the surgery that would have definitely exploded had she gone into orbit.
Yeah, and then some Asian chick.
Is that it?
Yeah, that I got accused of saying that was the token Asian woman, and then somebody's in my inbox. That's racist.
I know her. I met her at a party.
It's not racist to say, hey, clearly they're going for a spread here. Right off the bat, it's politicised because they're all women, and clearly they've gone, this is going to look bad if we don't have one represented from each sort of ethnicity as best as we can. There weren't any brown people there, by the way.
Well, apparently she's quite intelligent, but I mean, also, what did you say? She worked for the state or something?
Oh, I mean...
CIA,
yeah.
Another plant.
Yeah.
And then they went up for what, as far as I'm concerned, was little more than, if it even happened, was a little more than a Six Flags Magic Mountain ride, a Disneyland, what's it called, the Disneyland ride? Space Mountain?
Right, the Tower of Terror.
Yeah, no, it's not called the Tower of Terror, it's called Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's right.
Essentially went on Guardians of the Galaxy, sorry.
Is that what it's called now? But it's the same ride,
Yeah, same ride where it drops.
Right.
And you experience zero gravity.
Well, that makes sense. That's kind of cool in a way.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I've been on it. But, yeah, they were in space. They were... How many miles away were they, Max? 62 miles? Which is
just 64, something
which
like
is
67.
fuck all, by the way. Just to explain to you guys who don't question things like the moon landing, again, as my brother tells me all the time, I don't know enough about it, but my research alone would tell me that the moon is...
You've been doing your own research. Don't do that, mate. That's illegal.
Don't ask questions. Don't do research. But the moon is 240,000 fucking miles away from the Earth, and they went 62 miles away. I can spit 62
almost
miles.
a 250,000 miles away, if you'd like to believe we went there. We'll save that one probably for a different podcast. There's certainly evidence or certainly facts that are hard to grapple with for anybody that thinks we went there.
So these girls went to 62 miles. Essentially, as far as I can see, they seem to go on one of those flights. What does it do? It drops altitude?
Well, Alistair thinks what could have potentially happened is, I don't know if you've seen those flights where the plane goes up there and then it goes into free fall so that temporarily you become weightless. And they could have caught...
It's been on many TV shows.
That's
don't know if you guys know Carl Pilkington, An Idiot Abroad. Probably not. He was supposed to go on one. He ended up sending a bag of chocolates.
Maltesers.
No, they were Revels.
Were they Revels? Right.
So that's a UK chocolate.
Delicious.
I don't know. It's like Milk Duds or something.
Delicious candy.
A bag of Milk Duds so the people on the flight could toss them around in zero gravity and try and catch them in the mouth. And that's what it looked like to me. Many people on TV shows have done it.
Yeah, I've seen that a load of times. A plane goes up there and it goes into free fall and essentially simulates weightlessness, because as it falls, of course, you become weightless. So that's one possible way they could have done it. So they could have gone up there. There were absolutely no controls. They had no helmets, all of these things, but they could have arguably...
I mean, they make you wear a helmet. I'm trying to think.
Well, let's try and steelman it before we take... Let's try and before we take it down, let's try and talk in terms of, okay, it happened and what the people who believe it happened think they saw. And so let's talk about that. So essentially, they got blasted up there with no controls.
Zero footage of them going up there. Zero footage of them. You do know that when you take off, I mean, you've been on a roller coaster, Mike. Your fucking face does this, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what we want to see. We want to see them all looking goofy.
Katy Perry with her face like on the gravity wheel at a fun fair.
All of them, yeah.
Why did we not see that footage?
You could have easily installed a GoPro and...
Is it because they don't want to look ugly, or did it actually...
I mean, come on. I mean, if you're going into space, is it not like, we'll make sure we don't look ugly? Like...
Oh, no, they all looked good.
Oh, yeah.
To be fair, they all looked... I mean, as you know...
I don't mind Jeff Bezos' woman, you know.
They all looked fairly good. Even Gail, I mean, I wouldn't, crawl over a mile of broken glass to smell the gusset of her knickers, but...
No.
She looked good considering she's, as you...
Yeah, but I mean, is that what we've been reduced to now? What?
No, but what I'm saying...
Backing them out of 10?
No, well,
these astronauts. All right, lads, get a beer. All right, you 6SC, definitely get it, mate, that one.
Yeah, but
what about that scientist? 8 out of 10, mate. Yeah, I'd do her, yeah.
No, but that's even something that they actually look... First of all, they're making it out like they were the only women who've ever been to space. Look at the history of women who've been to space.
Yeah.
Look at them. They all look... They didn't put a full face of makeup on.
Yeah, they all look like Butch Dykes.
Katy Perry was stage ready. They were all stage ready.
Yeah.
They were all movie ready with their makeup.
But let's talk about what was supposed...
Captain Kirk's wig wasn't even properly on when he went up there.
Yeah, let's talk about what was supposed to have happened. He was supposed to have been blasted up there. on a rocket, stay up there. The rocket becomes detached from the capsule at the top.
Okay.
I don't know then what happens to the rocket. Is it supposed to sort of reverse back down and land? I've seen that sometimes.
I have no idea.
It looks hard to believe, but what do I know about rocket science? And then the capsule comes plummeting back down, parachute opens, and then another to steady it, and then another parachute opens, and they come down and land supposedly softly.
Right.
And that's what people think they saw.
25 miles an hour. Was it 25 kilometres an hour or 25 miles an hour?
Is that right? I have no idea. I just saw it hit the ground like a sack of shit, and a load of dust come up, and it's like, oof, that can't be good.
And if you do, as I've discussed with you, Mark, if you do want me to find it more plausible, can the witnesses not be fucking Oprah Winfrey and the Kardashians? What are they doing there?
Not be people who we suspect, if they weren't, would have visited Epstein Island.
And I watched an interview with the
or a Diddy freak off.
I watched an interview with the Kardashians and they went, we've been told if we want to experience this fully, to not film it, to just experience it with our eyes. Oh, no footage.
Convenient. You live your entire life like a fucking open wound on a reality show, but
Jesus
all of a
Christ.
sudden there's something potentially important, and all of a sudden we're turning the cameras off. Okay,
I don't know how many of them, but I certainly know Kim, the main protagonist of that clan, got famous by getting dicked down on camera.
Getting analled on camera, and now she's turning the camera off all of a
Now
sudden.
I want to experience this. They've lived every moment of their life through a camera.
You get famous by getting analled on camera, and now...
Did she get analled?
Yeah, I think that was the whole
10
thing.
points for her, do you know what I mean? At least she had a go.
I don't know. I mean, that's not my thing. I mean,
No, but I mean, you know...
Don't get me wrong,
She
I'll
didn't
do
fuck
it, but-
around is what I'm saying. She didn't just... You know, she wasn't missionary sex.
Yeah, I mean, is that something to be applauded? I mean,
No, it's absolutely nothing to be proud of. It's fucking shameful. is what I mean.
and the million porn stars, why is this one famous?
Well, I agree with you, but what I'm saying is, you know...
What next? Airtight DP, Eiffel
that?
Tower.
What's that?
I don't know what all those mean.
Okay.
I know what airtight means. I don't know what an
Airtight,
Eiffel
what's
Tower
that?
is. It's like all your holes. But I don't know what the Eiffel Tower is, but I can imagine.
All right, okay.
But I
well,
mean, what
anyway,
next?
yeah, suddenly they're going, okay, so we want to take this in with our own eyes. We don't want to watch this through a camera, so we've been told not to film it. Oh, fucking great.
So excited. I love the messaging that we keep receiving from the staff here at Blue Origin is don't film it through your phones. Look through your eyes. Be as present as possible. They will supply all the content that we need and to give to our families. But
Less evidence.
No, that's horseshit. I never knew they said that. That's
Yeah, they
clearly
say it. I saw
horseshit.
their
Oh,
interviews.
fuck,
You've
fuck,
not
fuck.
seen as many interviews as me. And there's
So-
no footage of them going up there.
So that's on the face of it. The people accept exactly what the news says without any question, and they believe that's what they saw. And that's simple. Let's talk about what makes people suspicious.
No. First of all, let's talk about what they actually saw then. They went up there.
Right,
If we're led to believe
Right.
everything that the mainstream media and the narrative is, they went up there,
Mm-hmm.
did what?
Floated around.
Katy Perry could not stop doing love heart hands
Mm-hmm.
like a fucking DJ to the camera.
I swear to God I invented that
I know,
sign
in Singapore.
No, in Copenhagen.
Copenhagen, okay. Well,
Yeah, because Daft Punk were doing a triangle,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
did the triangle in the crowd. And I
we
thought,
all,
oh,
I bet there's a million people.
yeah,
out
I
there.
know, I'm sure everybody had done it, but that was a million fucking years
Well,
ago. And
anyway,
then
she's-
everybody started doing it, and I thought, I wish I'd never done that now.
Yeah. She's doing love heart hands. She's literally showing her set list for her upcoming tour.
Yeah.
What
Look
else?
out the fucking window,
They've
look.
taken up like cuddly toys and stuff.
Yeah. What was that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw an interview with them, and they said actually because they're getting a bit of backlash.
Right,
And she
right.
said, "Well, we actually went up there and we did research, and the scientist girl, I don't know who she is.
Which one?
One of the black girls? They're not Gail.
Yeah.
The other one is I don't know her name. She's a scientist, and she's going. So we went up there and we like, which is never a good word for a scientist. To
No,
use.
it's a filler word.
Yeah, we did like research on like agriculture.
I don't find that scientists use words like and you know an awful lot. I don't
Some
think
of
they
them
need-
do. You'd be surprised in today's society, man. I've
Really?
listened to some, but not so many. Some
Not the
intelligent.
best and the brightest.
Dave Smith uses a lot of likes,
He's not a fucking scientist. He's a podcaster and a stand-up comedian.
but he's probably not stupid. Anyway, yeah, she
Anyway,
said she went
like-
up there she went up there to like do research on like agriculture, and she said that she took
Which
plants-
agriculture? The agriculture of what?
Well, I don't know if she's linked to a university or a college or something. Yeah, she's linked to a university that I think is traditionally a black university or a black college, whatever they call it in America. College and university is separate things in the UK.
Like an Ivy League black.
I guess so. I don't know which school it is.
Well, at least you've done your research.
I barely graduated first grade, so...
I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but she said
there's nothing wrong with a bit of representation. I've got no problem with that.
Yeah, but she's trying to claim now that she took plants up there. So where were they?
What for?
Exactly. Why didn't you just put them in the luggage bins? Or whatever the fuck's there.
She shoot plants up. Oh, for
That's what she said. You're just bullshit now.
Now you're bullshitting me. Now I don't believe anything you say. Oh,
just bullshitting because they got backlash. Said, what did you do? What did? Listen, let's be honest,
What were they
guys.
supposed to have done? Isn't the whole concept that it's just a bunch of famous people in space? It's not that deep.
Yeah.
I'm just defending them. It's not that deep. It's just, hey.
What do you mean you're defending them?
Well, I'm just saying on the face of it, nobody is pretending these women are going up there to...
But they've come down expecting
now
us
they've got
to treat them like...
Yeah, now they've got to try and rewrite history. But
they've come down, but they've gone 62 miles in what I see as a fucking aeroplane just above the Earth's atmosphere.
More like a massive dildo.
They spent 4 minutes up there. I couldn't even have a turbo wank in 4 minutes.
I'm just saying there was never supposed to be an agenda. It wasn't like we're going to go and like discover different planets. They just said, hey, here's an all-woman space crew. We're going to put some celebrities on there to get attention, launch them into space and bring them back. That's all it ever was.
But they came
a bit
back
of entertainment.
with all the entitlement of every celebrity that I've discussed
celebrities,
with you.
of course
They came
did.
back and expected to treat them like fucking Neil Armstrong.
Because
and Buzz
celebrities
Aldrin,
have been treated...
Who, by the way, were...
We'll get into that a different time. That's a different episode. But, I mean, that's just celebrities in general, you know. These are people who walk out a nightclub or get photographed eating a burger and it's headline news, or they fuck someone different and it's headline news. They've been trained to think that every single thing they do is important, and now they go to space.
I mean,
and
not all of them, because
dude, we watched the Ultra Music Festival.
Yeah.
Nobody was talking about music. It was just a bunch of DJs up there doing stupid party tricks, probably not even DJing, and that's all anybody was talking about. So if a celebrity goes into space, it's just something to keep you in the news and relevant. That's all it is. It's just fucking entertainment. That's all it is. And that's
ultimately,
all
it doesn't matter
to be.
if they're famous or not. My point is they were all just rich, is what they were.
Right,
They were
and
all
that's what pissed
rich.
people off, and people don't care if you're famous anymore either.
People cannot pay their fucking rent or their mortgages. They cannot pay their bills. Some of them have kids and they're struggling to put food on the table, and they're getting lectured about driving fucking cars that are gas fueled. And then these people go with fuck knows how many hundreds of thousands of dollars of, I'm assuming, jet fuel. I don't know what.
Hundreds of thousands?
Millions of dollars of
Right.
jet fuel
Thank you.
poured all over the fucking atmosphere.
Right.
And give us nothing. The good things they could have done with that. They could have cleaned up the fucking streets here, by the way. And
I
that's
mean,
just
but
here
they're
in
not
Los
going to
Angeles.
do that, and they're not employed to do that. But it's
But that's
just,
why people are pissed off, though.
People are pissed off because everybody's woken up, right? They've woken up to the fact that they're just human beings, and they've started to ask the questions that we asked. Why am I worshipping these people? Because she can sing? Who gives a fuck? Why am I worshipping her? Because she's sleeping with the guy that owns Amazon? Who gives a toss? Why am I worshipping her? Because she's, you know, Oprah Winfrey's closeted lesbian lover? Good for her. Who gives a fuck? And everybody started to ask that question, and they're sick and tired of having to worship these people.
And by the way, I don't care what you people in my inbox say. You have Oprah's lesbian lover, which is cool. We're open-minded. I don't give a shit who you want to fuck.
Irrelevant.
Fuck who you want.
It's not an achievement.
No, it's not an achievement.
Eating
She didn't do
eating
anything.
Oprah's pussy.
Oprah's achieved a lot. I don't know what Gail's done.
Yeah, but Oprah's also achieved some
Katy
things
Perry.
that might be a bit suspect, given like what I've heard about.
Oh, yeah,
Oprah.
well, we've heard a lot of rumours about Oprah.
So
Katy
I'm
Perry.
not going to worship at the altar of Oprah either.
No,
Thank
but
you
she
very
has actually, you know, we've
Achieved
seen
things in her life.
We've
yeah.
seen her fucking rise. Do you
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? We've
yeah,
actually
yeah,
been
yeah.
able to track her
Yeah,
rise.
if the actual story is to be believed, then that's impressive.
This is
you know.
just like this
If
is
the
just,
human trafficking stuff is too
She
good
said-
to
she-
believe. I renege my support.
Gail is essentially somebody's boyfriend. It's like, who do we give it?
Yeah.
She's-
But isn't the girl who designed the space outfits, isn't she just Jeff Bezos, the guy who owns
Well, it was
Amazon?
Oscar De La Renta who designed them with Jeff Bezos' girlfriend.
Right, that's just
somebody's
Jeff Bezos' girlfriend.
But that's how we know her.
But what she achieved? Sucked his dick.
Nothing.
You know,
And then
what,
Katy
PS,
Perry.
what does she see in multi-billionaire Jeff Bezos?
I have no idea what she sees in multi-billionaire Jeff Bezos, I think he's worth like 220 billion, or
I don't know. I don't know what she sees in.
I see 220 billion thinks she's probably.
I don't know what she sees in multiple $100 billionaire Jeff Bezos.
Anyway, yeah, so we know Katy Perry, we know
But wait,
Gayle.
just quickly, what was she in her own rights before she met him?
I don't know.
Nothing, right? Really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know Gayle, I know, we know Gayle. We know who Jeff Bezos is. We, the people watching.
Collectively, not we know them, we know of them.
We know who Katy Perry is, we know who Gayle is, we know Jeff Bezos. The other two people, I know they've probably got. You people can stop sliding in my inbox. I know they've probably got achievements.
The problem is.
The people don't know who they are.
The problem is that.
I forgot about one of them.
Yeah.
The middle-aged white woman.
Yeah, the problem is that when I say something, they say, you disrespected him. I go, okay. Guilty, let me have a look. And then I look into it and I'm like, yeah, this is horse shit. These are just rich, privileged people. Doesn't matter the colour of the skin or the sex or the sexuality. These are just rich, privileged people. They've been rich and privileged from birth, and somehow they've been picked to represent some form of a culture to be launched into space, allegedly.
It's just disgusting wealth rammed in our faces, disguised as feminism. The fucking women are sick of it. Why the fuck is Jeff Bezos dressed in the same costume as them as well?
Why is he dressed like a spaceman?
Why is he? It's like it's Halloween. He's wearing cosplay. He's wearing what we call fancy dress. What do they call it here?
Costumes.
Yeah, he's wearing a costume. He didn't enter a spacecraft, and he's dressed in the blue kind of coveralls, overall things. What's he?
Yeah. So now let's talk about...
What a dick!
So you were talking about what they did see. So explain to them what they did see, and that might uncover some of the things that people didn't see that made them suspicious. Or rather, or in some cases did see that made them suspicious.
What do you mean?
Well, what did people see? What did we see? We saw the boosters going off.
Right.
People have sent me close-up screenshots of what they believe to be this capsule with people inside it, but you can't see who that is.
No.
And even if you saw inside the capsule... with the boosters going off, you don't see that take off and inside the capsule, oh, that's them, there it goes. You just see the boosters going off and inside the capsule, people are there. Smash cut to a rocket going up.
Right.
Nobody's disputing we can send fireworks up. Nobody's disputing we can send rockets up. And then the rocket, when it went up, that footage looked really AI.
It looked, honestly, it looks just like, is it called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
Well, that's
Factory?
when it's coming down.
When it's going up to.
Okay.
Oh, no, when it's going up, it's the Austin Powers.
Yeah, and it's glitchy
rocket.
though. It's not even that good. You know, it glitches, and I don't know.
It looks like a big Johnson.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is it glitches. It's like maybe it goes up a few feet and then it glitches and it's up the next. And I don't know, is that the gimbal on the drone that's filming it? I'm making up excuses for what it could be. It certainly just glitches. It's going up in like, it's here, and then glitch, and it's gone up another few thousand feet. And it's like, whoa, that just travelled through time there. So the footage is not very convincing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's glitching, it's staggered.
I mean, it looked weird to me. Somebody sent me something saying, oh, here, the strings and all that. But again, this is the conspiracy theorists that won't believe anything. Me and you are kind of conspiracy skeptics, I guess.
I just think, certainly after 9/11, the Iraq War, COVID, it's just like to go, wait a minute, they're not telling us the truth on a great many things here. And once you know that they're lying, then the only question is the sort of the depth of the lies and which things they're lying about. We can't dispute that they're lying. It's just what and when are they lying. And if you know somebody's lying to you, then you have to question everything they tell you.
I think when I read a newspaper article about myself and about us, and it said we'd had a picnic with Catherine Zeta-Jones in Milan, a picnic. Yeah. And I'm like, where the fuck did they get these stories from? I mean...
We'd been interviewed.
Yeah, they turned up at our door and we'd spoke to them, but never at any stage I said...
Well, what I'm saying is we'd been interviewed. How the fuck did they get... You know what I mean? We went on a picnic.
With Catherine Zeta-Jones. It never happened. I never went on a picnic with her. Those words never came out my mouth. And it's there in black and white in a national newspaper for everybody to read. So at that stage, I was like, oh, it's bullshit. I can never believe this again. But they just write any old shit.
Yeah.
They're writing it about me, so why would they be telling the truth about the next page? The next person on the next page?
Yeah, that's what happens, isn't it? You read something and you go, oh, right, okay, so they were lying on that. Oh, well, I'll turn over and believe everything else that's after that. It's like, no, if they lied to you on page 1, then they're lying to you on page 2 too. Arguably, possibly.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, but there are people who...
They're certainly inaccurate. I mean, we had been in Milan with Catherine Zeta-Jones, but...
You're telling me that if you went to Milan with multi-millionaire-esque, world-famous celebrity Catherine Zeta-Jones... that you
Oscar
would've...
winner, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Well, she hadn't won an Oscar at the time, to be fair, but you wouldn't have taken her out for, like, you know...
First thing I thought was have a picnic with her.
Yeah, let me make you a...
I had about 50p in the bank at the time.
Yeah, Alistair, crack out the Wonder Bread. Yeah. Let's get Catherine to the gig. Come on, whip up some Kool-Aid. Catherine's thirsty.
I was in Milan with Catherine Zeta-Jones, and all I was aware of that I was incredibly poor compared to everybody else. I was like, let's go on a picnic.
Yeah. Don't she'll find this woman who's been followed around by the paparazzi and seems to refuse to want to walk a single footstep without being chauffeur driven. I'm going to take her on a fucking picnic. I mean, what is this, Dawson's Creek?
So anyway, once that was one of the things that told me that the press may be inaccurate at best. But yeah, like my brother says, you're seeing these kind of smash cuts, like little snippets of footage. Here's some snippets of them in the what would you call it? The capsule, playing with toys.
But that's once they were up there, like you say. So right off the bat, if you want to grab our attention and that thing's jetting into space, I can't imagine how many knots. Then we want to see all these women.
I think it'd be miles an hour, right? Knots is...
I don't know. I just
is that
listened to
not
James
volts?
May, and he said if he slows that plane down by 10 knots,
Okay,
it'll
it'll be
fall from
knots
the sky.
then. See, that shows I don't know shit.
I don't know. I'm sure there's an
You're
expert,
probably
but
right.
whatever. You know, we want to see them blasting and screaming. Imagine if you was blasted into space, guys.
I almost scream when I'm taking off in a flight, and I've probably been on not tens of thousands, but certainly thousands and thousands of flights.
Yeah.
And I hit turbulence and I struggle to keep the squealing.
Yeah, we had
because
that
I want to be a fucking man. I don't want to scream like a, you know.
We had that debate the other day in the studio with our friend who's a pretty manly guy as well, and he said, yeah, I don't like turbulence. And it's like, oh yeah, none of us do.
No, none of us
so
like
if you blast me up there in a rocket, I'm certainly I'm gonna try and keep a poker face on, but I'm gonna struggle. I mean, I scream on a roller coaster or I'd laugh. You know what I mean?
Well, so that shit went up there. We were taking up space or something. Did you hear that?
No.
What are we doing, women? We're taking up space. What the fuck kind of slogan is that? It's fucking
I don't even know what that means.
And then they came down with all the shite that was coming out.
But we're not talking about what happened up there. So we talked roughly about the fact that we didn't see much footage from the capsule on the way up. That would be very interesting footage to see. What we were presented with is this capsule. Once, I guess, it had come apart from the rocket.
Mm-hmm. Separated.
And these women floating around, perfectly comfortable. Zero training.
Then they go, girls, look at the moon, girls. One of them instantly turns upside down and her back goes to the mirror. Her back goes to the window, sorry. She's
Why?
like...
On purpose?
I mean, is there anything out there? Are they looking at a green screen?
No, but what I'm saying is, like, if I was floating around...
The next scene, she's just upside down with her back to it.
But you told me how much training they'd had. How much was it?
Well, apparently they'd been training for 2 days, and they were like, what did you train in? And they were like, getting in the capsule, getting out the capsule, getting our seatbelts on and off.
So no G-force training when they put you in one of those things like an astronaut and
when
spin
we
you
were
around,
kids and they were talking about...
Like one of those tennis ball...
We've all seen the astronauts, whether it's on movies or going through the training, and they have to be in...
You have to be trained to be weightless, because if you become weightless, if you can imagine, if you all of a sudden become weightless and you just get upended, your instinct is going to start grabbing for things to try and steady yourself.
Right.
You're not going to just float around and immediately have perfect control. I'm going to be kicking, doing a tiny little capsule, yeah. I'm going to be kicking people in the face, flailing. Oh, I'm sorry, knocking stuff over.
Here's my tour dates.
So, you know, they did seem to be awfully cool and composed at that point.
A lot more cool and composed than we would be, I think, Mark. Even when they're walking in and they're ringing the bell, have you seen that? Where they're walking in and they're ringing the bell, and again, Jeff Bezos is there in his cosplay, I'm an astronaut costume.
Right.
It doesn't look like there's any fear. I'm more scared than that, getting on a domestic flight from LA to Las Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I'm getting on the hope this thing holds up.
Yeah, probably going on Spirit Airlines. So probably just worried that your co-passenger's going to stab you to death.
You'd be a hell of a lot more...
welcome to Frontier Airlines. Can you fight, motherfucker?
Sit your ass down in a seat, motherfucker.
Sit your ass down and shut the fuck up. Anyway, that's it. No, there ain't no snacks, motherfucker. Sit down. You want a snack? $75.
Bring your own snacks, motherfucker.
I would be a bit more afraid. And then they float around up there, and then again it's sort of smash cut to coming back down, which we don't see. We just see a capsule.
So where's the? That's what I'm saying. Where's the descent? Where are they? They're descending at I don't know what speed, but imagine fucking free fall speed at some stage before the parachutes come out. Where's that footage?
Right, exactly. And there's no control, so they're not controlling it. So
And the thing is, by not showing it us then live, or
right, absolutely.
now you show it us now, and we're going to be like, oh, you just made this as a kind of emergency shit. We need some more.
But if you describe the thing right, it's a dome with a flat side, and it's the head of a penis. It's a bell end. Mm-hmm. If that all of a sudden, okay, we're going to drop in 3, 2, 1. My basic understanding of aerodynamics would be the first thing that would do is turn upside down. The flat side would catch air and boom, it would go to the pointed side down, or it would tumble.
I mean, listen, I guess how it's weighted.
Would that stop it if it was weighted that way?
If there was all the weight was on the bottom?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
looks weird to me.
All the wind would have to be hitting it exactly uniformly, flat on the bottom and bringing it down.
I would imagine
if
it would
the wind
just
blew it.
Tumble. I mean, the shape of it, again, looks like the thing off Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Now, I did see some bit of footage where they had one of those parachutes open up eventually that kind of stabilizes it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense to me scientifically. And then another one. And then another one, but ultimately is the parachute that brings it down safely, allegedly. And then it hits the ground like a sack of shit. You said 35 miles an hour.
It might have been 25. I don't know if it's kilometres.
Right, 25 mile an hour. If you hit me in a car at 25 mile an hour, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
You know.
Unless those seats are so amazing that they've got...
Well, so there is...
a kind of pneumatics on them, like
there
suspension.
is a brief bit of footage of Katy Perry allegedly hitting the ground. Is she seat belted in there?
I don't know. I just don't know what to believe anymore.
All I'm saying is when you go on a flight, and we know how soft a flight touches down nowadays, they won't let you go if your seat is reclined, if your table isn't up, if your laptop is not safely away, and you've got to have that stupid lap belt on. Yeah. But I'm expected to believe they come fucking tumbling down from Earth, from space rather, without a seatbelt, lying down. And then on the ground, right, like every airport has like ambulance crews and fire crews. There'd be fire engines and ambulance crews.
No, Matt, they don't need that. They've got the Kardashians and Oprah Winfrey.
Right. And like, if I go on a bicycle without a helmet, or if I go on a boat, whatever, they give me a life jacket. These girls haven't got helmets on, no protective clothing at all. They're just going to...
They would definitely... I mean, we've been on construction sites. Right. We ride bicycles. Right. You ride your bicycle to the store without a helmet, and cyclists are like, you fucking retarded, put your helmet on.
Yeah, you go and look at a new venue, a new nightclub. They won't let you look at it without a hard hat on.
Yeah.
You know, and we are all walking around looking goofy with a hard hat on, but these women can go up there, you know, we don't want to mess our hair up. It's a little...
suspicious.
We've all seen, like, you know, the TV host who has to go in as a passenger in a race car, or they have to go and they just give them the goofiest looking helmet.
Yeah, on the back of a motorcycle.
Yeah, you see.
You wouldn't go on the back of a motorcycle to the local store, though, would you? You wouldn't.
But they wouldn't allow you to go on TV without a helmet on. So how are they allowing these women
It's almost like they're trying to tell us, are you stupid?
Even the shape of the...
And we've got, what you don't understand is we've got people yelling at us, calling us all kinds of conspiracy theorists, and not even just conspiracy theories, they're just telling us we're delusional and we're crazy and we're morons, basically. They're just a bunch of insults at us. And then you're like, well, okay, explain why, and you've all seen it at this stage. I'm sure I'm just going over, treading over old ground. You've all seen that when it lands... the door opens like a fucking front door of a house. It just opens like, oh, come in. And
so explain to them what was supposed to happen.
What was supposed to happen is it land. This is supposed to be a pressurized, vacuum-locked door that is heavily sealed to withstand the kind of conditions in space.
The gravity,
the pressure mainly.
Like, we all know that you can't sit up from your seat in an aeroplane until they've unlocked that door because it's pressurized, you know, it's a pressurized cabin.
The whole drama of it Jeff Bezos was supposed to walk over, put this kind of wrench in and crank it open. But unfortunately, the girls inside didn't get the memo because if you ask me, the 2 days that they spent training to take their seatbelts off was 2 days of dress rehearsals. And somebody forgot the fucking script and opened the door from the inside. And
like the door of a fucking tent.
it just comes open like a car door, not even really, like a trailer door, a caravan door. It just opens.
The door of a sauna. Like,
It just flops open, and they close it again, and then Jeff Bezos comes up with it for his little, theatrical moment.
Face plants.
Yeah, face plants on the way round, and then he pretends to put the tool in, and he doesn't even do anything. He just pretends.
Which is a little late now, mate.
It's a little late.
Seen.
We know the door's open. You fucking dipshit.
But like we all know when you're coming down in a plane because of the pressure, even with that pressurized door, what your ears are doing. I don't.
Yeah, you're like give me your ears are popping, your ears are sore because
kids are crying. I remember one time you saying, "What's that squeaking?" And I'm like, "It's my ears."
your ears were squealing.
It's making noise. I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to fall down from fucking space. And that's not going to affect the ears. It's not going to affect anything. Everybody's fine. Just go out and be like, yeah, no problem whatsoever.
And then, so we saw that. Then Katy Perry gets handed. Just say the most trite shit. Like, God, she even plugged her tour dates, which... I mean,
why not?
Plug the tour dates. Yeah, sure.
Aren't we in a world nowadays where we'd have a lot more respect for someone who said, I don't really give a fuck. I thought I'd go up to space and it'd help me market my tour.
Well, okay, Gail.
Wouldn't you just appreciate the honesty though? It's just, I thought it was fun. I'd get some attention. I'd talk about my tour. We'd be like, all right, at least being honest. Instead of coming down and saying, it's made me feel that unity together. And I get fucked.
Yeah, no, it did
we know this. We've been knowing this. We know about unity and togetherness. And we know this. It's not that we've known this since 1960.
It has brought us together. It's brought conspiracy theorists and non-conspiracy theorists together in hatred for the kind of those type of rich people. It didn't go over well. It's a PR disaster for them. And Gail King, is that her name? Gail King.
I haven't got a clue. Yeah,
the Oprah girlfriend. Yeah. She landed in. She said, "Oh, it's really dismissive for people to call it a ride." This whole feminine. If it was men, you wouldn't call it a ride. And then I watched Captain Kirk. What's his name? The actor.
William Shatner.
He went up there. First of all, he looked out the window the whole time, and his was as much bullshit as theirs. But he's a guy, okay? He went up there and he looked out the window. This is not men versus women.
That wasn't headline news though. Nobody really gave a shit.
Well, he went up there, and when he gets out, Gail King's going, "Oh my God, they're just saying it was just a ride." Well, what else did you do?
Yeah.
Again, this is not men
What
versus...
did you achieve?
What did you do? What did you achieve? This is not men versus women. Men and women are there to kind of not compete against each other, to complement each other. Look in the control room. Have you seen in the control room? I mean, I've looked in the control room to see if there's a woman in there. There's not. So you women are there, and the men these men are in there. I'm not saying a woman couldn't do it. I'm just saying the fact.
I can settle this argument. Women, men make most of the shit, and women make all the people. And we need each other for that reason, okay? It's not, we're equal, we're just not the same. And that's the way it is, all right? Get over it, move on.
We're very similar, though. There's just some differences.
We're similar, but men...
Anyway, I'm not getting into the whole men, women...
It's just goofy to pretend that we're all exactly the same. We're not. And thank God, because you know what? It'd be the end of fucking civilization.
We're not the same, but we're equal. Okay, I don't give a shit what religion, race,
and
colour...
we're not even saying when you break it down, because... if you put me, on a fucking desert island, I'll use that Joe Rogan joke, I'd still be chasing things around with a fucking stick.
Me and you aren't even the same.
No, if you put me on a desert island and said, right, you live forever,
send an email.
How long will it be before I can send an email? I'll tell you. It'll be never. I will never in 100 billion years work out how to send a fucking email, because I need other people for that, right? I need other people. I still turn the tap on and go, how did the water come out of that?
Yeah, the shower. Right. I'm like... I need other people. I need other people who are different than me. So stop insisting that we're all the same. We're not. We're all equal. We're not the fucking same. We're different. Thank God. That's why we survived as a fucking human race. If everybody was the same as me and him, it'd be a pretty fucking... Like he says, we'd still be wearing pieces of animal skin and You know,
Yeah, I'd
In
probably
fact,
say,
we'd
I'd
probably all
probably
be-
say, I don't want to hurt that animal.
We'd
And then I'd
probably
just
all be dead. We'd
be
definitely
dead.
all
It'd
be
be the
dead.
end of
It'd be the
fucking
end of
humanity.
human
We'd be
race.
dead, all right? So thank God we're not all the same. Thank the fucking Lord.
So anyway, Gail King lands, and after a while, she's like, I'm really upset because people are kind of belittling what I've done and calling it a ride. But really, what did you do? And she said, if this was men, you wouldn't be calling it a ride. So I watch William Shatner, he gets out, and they go, how was that? He goes, it was a great ride. It's like, he called it a ride. He knows he didn't do anything.
Right.
You know, he gets out and he's like, it's amazing. It just makes you realise how small you are. And they get out and they're like, they've not even
They
looked
get out and they go, you know, when I was up there and I could see the earth, it just made me realise how small all you people were.
how insignificant you all are.
It just made me realise, I just saw the earth from space and it just made me realise how insignificant all that is.
Compared to me. I saw Katie, and then I saw Gail, so I'm so proud of me and myself. And then Katy Perrys go, it made me get connection with myself and with me and my, fuck off, you self-obsessed, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off.
Everybody fuck off.
Just fucking shut up, the fucking lot of you. So yeah,
So what else was suspicious about it? Because there was quite a lot. Like I say, I mean, you know, no ambulances, no fire engines, nothing. Just like you say, the Kardashians and Oprah waiting to welcome them home.
yeah, because you told me, oh, well, there were witnesses. So then I went and looked, who are these witnesses? If it's going to be this big crowd of thousands of people. No, it's the
Well, what I have to do is make
who
sure...
definitely work for the CIA.
Right. But what I always want to do is make sure that I don't form opinions and start saying things like I know.
No.
Because you have people in our inbox saying I know, and it's like, you don't know. None of us know.
No.
We don't know.
No.
We can believe, we can suspect. So I don't know. So looking at it from the kind of person who gets in my inbox and goes, I know, just to put myself in their shoes of what they think they've seen. They have seen Jeff Bezos watching a rocket go up. Now, were the people in that rocket? Was that footage filmed and smashed together and edited with an unmanned rocket? I don't know, but they have seen that and then they've kind of filled in the gaps.
But it's all a little bit green screeny, the whole thing, right?
Oh, and AI, even the real, and I'm sure that's a different episode, but even those real astronauts that got stuck in space recently. And
Yeah, that was something, wasn't it? She went up with grey hair and came back with black hair.
yeah.
The fucking Christmas, they went up on like, I don't know, was it October or something?
And we're supposed to be back in
Christmas
like-
Day, they're wearing fucking Christmas hats.
Yeah, like every single...
How the fuck did they get hold of them if they were supposed to be only up there for like 2 weeks?
Yeah, when you're going up there for 2 weeks into space...
I packed my Christmas hat.
I'm sure that, like, they weigh
Christmas
my
decoration.
luggage when I get on a flight. I'm sure when you're going into space, they weigh every milligram of everything. But they're like, oh, don't forget the Christmas
Well,
hats.
you're assuming that you can go to space, which I have my...
Yeah, which some people dispute,
Doubts
but it's
about.
like, don't forget your Christmas hats. And it's like, okay. And then as they were getting out, as they opened the door, there was hands in there.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
saw-
yeah. Yeah, I saw, yeah, the door opened and...
they saw like somebody lifting her out, and it's like, who the fuck is in there? How did they get in there?
I mean, just so you guys know, every space mission you see, every space station you see is about maximum of 350 miles above the Earth. The only time we've been above 350 miles was allegedly between the Apollo missions between 1969 and, was it 1972 or 1971? 7 missions, 6 of them successful, 1 blew up on the launch. I got some theories about that myself, but one of them blew up. And so apparently we don't have the technology to get through the Van Allen radiation belt. It's 400 feet.
There's never been a genetic organism, never been anything a living creature that's been through the Van Allen radiation belt
what he said
and
is there's
returned
never-
alive, anything that lives,
There's never been a biological organism, is what he's
been
saying.
through the Van Allen belt and then returned alive, except for those times when I've got more technology in my phone than they had.
In the
on
world.
this other thing. Now, Alice is telling you it's 350 miles away is the average space station, but they went 200 quarter of a million miles away.
350 miles is the furthest.
Yeah.
Any space mission that you see, these people who apparently got trapped in space, all these space stations you see, they're 350. There's nothing gone beyond the Van Allen radiation belt since 1972. The Van Allen radiation belt is 400 miles away. The moon is nearly 240,000 fucking miles away. How do they fuel something to get up there. I'm not saying I know. I'm
If
asking.
you've got a Tesla, it won't even go to fucking Las Vegas.
My mate's Tesla won't make it from LA to Vegas, and I'm supposed to.
That's with the technology we have today. How did they fuel that thing for 250,000 fucking miles?
A quarter of a million miles. How did you fuel it? How the fuck did you fuel it? Did you send somebody up there? Oh, gas her up, buddy.
Again, we're not
Plus-
saying they didn't. We're saying it seems unlikely. Explain it to us like we're 5 years old, how they did it. And also understand that a lot of what we say, we're saying for the purposes of jokes.
No, it's for the purposes of entertainment. I'm not taking it too seriously. It's just that people yell at me and I'm like, well, first of all, the surface of the moon is between 250 and 250 degrees below. So it's plus 250 degrees. And in the shadows, it's negative 250 degrees. That is not really...
Survivable.
Yeah. It is massively kind of almost violently dangerous to a human. I barely survive. I've got a very small window. I get cold in the winter and too hot in the summer.
Over 100 degrees, it's like, I'm in trouble here, guys.
Plus 250 degrees and negative 250 degrees.
Yeah, you cook like a fucking chicken. I'll freeze.
It's getting battered by meteorites all the time. It
seems highly...
I have some questions, that's all I'm saying.
But I think people have been shouting at us like they think that we're doing this for the purposes of any other reason than pure entertainment. Like, we are not posting memes about Katy Perry because like we have an agenda against Katy Perry or against women or against space travel. We're doing it because the punchlines just keep coming to us.
It's funny.
I have a comedic... I have somewhat of a... I watch a lot of comedy. I don't necessarily know that I have a comedic mind, but I can't help but find the punchline in everything. I'm always going for a punchline. Always, in every conversation. If you've ever talked to us, you know we're always looking for the punchline. That's just the kind of guys we are. If something happens, we're going to go for the fucking punchline. It's just the way we are as humans.
It's called gallows humour. And some people just need to laugh to let steam off, and that's what we do. We laugh. But unfortunately, there's people out there who have zero sense of fucking humour. Now, you put on Instagram a poll to find out, do you guys believe it happened, or was there something at least suspicious about it? Mm-hmm. And I think there was like, say there was 3,000 votes. Yeah. I think there was like 2,800. It was 98% people saying there's something suspicious about it, and 2%.
Do you want to know what my point was with that post? And I'll tell you what the post was, because I didn't want to ask, do you believe it happened or don't you believe it happened? That's too, like, people so sure of themselves.
Something happened.
With no intellectual curiosity or no sort of insecurity about their own intellect. It's like, I know, I'm sure, and I'm the fucking expert. So I didn't want to ask that. So what I asked, to make it easy for people, is, do you have any suspicions at all? That was option one. And option two, just to see how far I could push people to prove that there isn't a question that you can ask that won't split the crowd, even if it is by 98 to 2%. The second option, so the first option was, are you all suspicious about it? And the second option was, I believe every single thing the mainstream media news tells me. They were your options.
And there was still like 200 people.
Still 2% of people like, yeah, I believe every single thing the mainstream media news tells me. When we know for a fact, we can point to thousands of examples of them lying to you, provably. So we know that for a fact that they do lie
Even
to
if
you.
they don't mean it, they get it wrong. So why can you believe... You can't believe everything I tell you, because even if I tell you and I believe it to be true, I may have... You know, if I say, Mark's just outside, and you go, I didn't see him yet, go outside, Mark's outside. Go outside, there's no Mark. I may have seen a guy who looked like my brother and just not been looking, or my sunglasses on. You can't believe everything. They believe everything.
I think we can prove that they actually lie to us. Mm-hmm. I think we can prove that, and knowingly so. I think you can take the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq that got over 1 million innocent people killed. Yeah, I think we can just prove that they were lying.
It's got a bit heavy now. It's got a bit heavy.
I'm just saying they were lying. There you go. They knew that, and they knew it too. But I fucking knew it.
Here's what got me. Of all the hundreds, thousands of people who said they suspicious, and there was only a few hundred who said they weren't suspicious, it was the non-suspicious people who came in our inbox to tell us we were twats and crazy and we needed tinfoil hats and just to shut the fuck up and DJ.
But you talk back to those people, I'm just like, all right, cool. You know, all right. I mean, looking at it from your perspective, the perspective of somebody with zero curiosity. And remember that there's
zero capability for independent thought.
We've got people close to us who've called us all kinds of crazy things, and then had to concede that, perhaps we were right on certain things.
Well, the thing is, as we've explained, that our job is sporadic. So it's like lots and lots of work, boom, 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 in the studio or on stage or whatever. And then you'll maybe go in the studio one day, and then you'll have a show, and then you'll go in the studio, and then you'll have a show, and then you'll just get 2 days of nothing. If you want, I mean, you can always do things, but maybe we go, okay, we need a few days to take time off, eat properly, sleep properly. And what do? You sit in bed, and most people have kids and families and jobs that they go to, and they're regimented. So they come home at night and they watch 15 minutes of news and play with the kids. I can sit there, on my day off, and literally read or listen to audiobooks all day long if I want, for 20 hours. And sometimes I do, sometimes I sleep with them. And unfortunately, with it's not like we ever went in and went, I want the moon landings, for example, to be fake. No, just like everybody else, we believed them. We were brought up to believe them all.
Like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber. We landed on the moon.
Yeah. We were brought up to believe that we landed on the moon, and all these things are true, and the history books are true, and everything we were taught at school is true, and everything we see on the
And we all saw people that said they didn't believe that, and we all
just
kind
thought
of
they were
rolled
crazy.
our eyes and dismissed them. We've all done that.
Yeah. I mean, I've told you my story of the guy who came up to me on the beach and told me we all die, and I was a little kid. He told me we all die in a war with China, and I was about 11, and he told me that. You weren't there, but he told me that, and shit. And I've gone on about that for quite.
Alice is quite convinced about that, but it's like.
Well, he's gone on it. He told me when I was 11, and I've mentioned
he seems to be on track. If I was to,
I've mentioned it over the years. I said, that crazy guy.
I got a slightly different opinion on that. That if we get into a war with China and nuclear missiles start launching on either side and start hitting nuclear power plants, that this entire planet is going to be unlivable for hundreds and hundreds of millions of years. So
I can't remember all
I don't see how we get into any kind of nuclear altercation with anybody and any of us survive. Nobody survives nuclear war. I don't know how to explain that to people who think they do. I don't know how this is even a narrative.
That's not what he said.
Nobody survives that.
He didn't say anybody survives. He said they blow the Northern Hemisphere. And I was old enough to know what the Northern Hemisphere was.
Right.
And that's all. Anyway, that aside, we've all rolled our eyes.
He could have also been an absolute lunatic.
Yeah, he could have been a lunatic. We've all rolled our eyes at conspiracy theorists and laughed at them. And actually, it was me laughing at them and then going, this guy's crazy. Let me look into that. That led me to find, oh, shit, maybe he's not crazy.
I think what serves people like us, but not just us, and what irritates us about these people who are so certain is that they're so sure, that they're so smart that they know. And we're the kind of people who go, well, shit, I don't know. Let me read about
this
that.
This guy seems crazy, but
but I don't know.
Let me go and read about it so I can prove it wrong.
I can't comfortably debate a person who says we didn't land on the moon. And I go, of course we did. And he goes, no, we didn't. And then he hits me with the Van Allen belt. And I'm like, what the hell is the Van Allen belt? And he's beat me, if I'm honest. Because I'm like, okay, I don't know enough about this subject matter. So then I read and I'm like, okay, well, he's making some good points. Not enough for me to say that we did or didn't, but enough for me to say that he made some good points.
Yeah, but like their defense now seems to be, I say, do you think, and again, I'm not saying we didn't land on the moon. I'm not saying that for a second. I'm saying when I ask and somebody goes, are you crazy? Of course we did. And I go, what is your proof? And they say, we saw it on television. I'm like, do you understand? Even the television footage was not direct footage. It was filmed on projector screens. So it was cameras pointed at projector screens. I think those projector screens were being transmitted from Washington, D.C. So even the speed of sound, I'm a DJ, right? So we have our headphones on. You see us with our headphones on. We have a monitor speaker. So we've got the music playing and we hit the beat.
Yeah, I don't think you're being clear. The music is coming from the speakers in the club. You will always notice a DJ has a speaker right next to them. That's because of the speed of sound. If you're mixing off the speakers on the dance floor, you're not going to be on time.
The speed of sound is an instant, so I need a speaker next to me. So my headphone, I hit the beat, and it's in time with the beat that's right next to my ear. If I mixed off a speaker at the other side of the club, it wouldn't do that. The speed of sound is an instant. So that means if you're 250,000 miles away, on the moon, and I'm like, one small step for man. I'm like, how are you, Neil? And he's like, oh yeah, good. Oh, good, how are you? One small step for man. Yeah, really? One small step. It was like...
One giant leap for mankind. I'll finish that one for you, Alistair.
Okay, yeah. It was instant. The conversation was instant. Are you picking us up? Yeah. Houston, we have a problem. You do? You've got a problem? Yeah, Houston, we got a problem. It'd be like, Houston, we have a problem. It'd be like, 25 seconds.
Bang! Shit. Yeah, do that one for the
They'd
message.
see the bang and then they'd hear it.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't be like, oh, Houston, we have a problem. You do? What's the problem? Oh,
You'd probably see the explosion before the message got to you, because that's the difference between the speed of light and the
I
speed
hope
of
this is
sound.
not too inside baseball, but do you understand what I'm saying there?
It shouldn't be.
There would be a
because
delay.
It shouldn't be too inside baseball, because I think the thing is that and that's what's scary, and that's what scares a lot of people who are like us, is to say, hey, we're dumb. And that's not a get out of jail card that I give you all this professional expertise, and then when you push me on it, I say, hey, don't ask me, I'm just a DJ. I'm telling you for a fact, like, I'm not like a genius. No. So if I know this,
I've got the qualifications to prove that.
Yeah, if I know this, then what the hell, how the hell do these geniuses...
And I always say I could be wrong, but coming into my inbox and saying...
Privately, Alistair says that very little.
To who?
Me, probably.
I don't say that. What I say is, I'm not backing down to somebody who comes into the inbox and says, you're a fucking idiot. Where do I go with that? That didn't...
Okay. I mean, you put it out there. Do you know what I mean? Of course, some people are going to object to it for whatever reason. I don't know who it is they think they're defending.
But engage with the argument. Don't just call me a fucking idiot.
Agreed. I don't know who it is they think they're defending. Who are they defending? The establishment? Who is it you think you're defending? I'm on your side. All right? I'm trying to stop you being lied to and bullshitted into God knows what.
Us being lied to. Us was trying to stop us being lied to.
Into another, deadly virus that's been launched at us.
Unnecessary war that's basically a quarrel between bankers that we should not be involved in any of.
That will just get a load of innocent and poor people on every single side killed. And by the way, when we all get killed, they'll be in a bunker somewhere. And if you don't think they exist, they do. They'll be in a bunker somewhere laughing their ass off, and they won't give a shit about you when you get in your wig pushed all the way back unless you've got factor 5 billion sun cream.
What about if we want to go really... not dark, but a little bit like almost laughable. Have you seen the logos
with Baphomet when you turn it? So
you flip the space shuttle logo. You flip it upside down. It looks like Baphomet.
But it doesn't look like any part of the space shuttle. So why does it have to look like that? You know what I mean?
Well, that's it upside down when it's Baphomet.
But like even the right way up. What is that a photo of? What is that an image of?
It's supposed to be a space shuttle.
Which one? That space shuttle. Well, that's what you say. Why does it have to?
Why does it have to look like a fucking dick? Why does it have to look like a cock? Why does it have to look like a penis? I mean, that is like the final insult to say, are you guys that stupid? A bald guy launching a cock-shaped rocket has literally been done in Austin Powers already. I mean, it's like life imitating art in a giant joke that's on us.
Yeah.
And we're just drinking it.
It's almost like let's see how stupid these motherfuckers are. Mm-hmm. And the reality is, and the relieving thing is, most not people. That stupid.
Whether it happened or not, or what actually happened that day, it didn't go over like they wanted.
Right.
The whole PR stunt didn't go over. Unless this is all just a distraction while something else horrible happens in the world.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a great many things that are horrible happening in the world, but I don't think this so much distracted us from them, but I...
Didn't distract you and I from them, but...
Right. Well, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know why they would have done it. And again, if you want to not look into it at all and just simplify it, okay, they just launched a bunch of people, women into space, and some celebrities to prove that it could.
And it was a great leap forward for feminism, if that's how you want to look at it.
Yeah.
I don't know why that would be, seeing as plenty of women have been.
They didn't do anything, space. Did they? Were there even controls inside that?
Nope.
No, it
was controlled by Mission Control, which was a bunch of old men, from what I could see.
Yeah.
But that's also...
Yeah, now that I'm critical, I couldn't have done anything either.
Yeah.
Except scream my tits off. Probably would have been wearing a helmet, though.
Definitely.
Some kind of a pressurised suit, just in case.
Hasn't James May been up to... James May, if you guys know Top Gear, the show, it was like a British show about 3 middle-aged men driving cars and reviewing cars, and one of them did a show about going to space, right? And did he?
Yeah, he goes into space in like this kind of twin cabin aeroplane that's capable of flying on the perimeter.
Is it old Soviet technology or is it new Russian technology?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I can't remember.
It goes out of again,
Basically, it goes around the Earth's atmosphere, sort of, doesn't it? So it's technically in space.
goes through the clouds and the kind of outside of where the sky's blue and it turns black for whatever reason that is. If that's atmospheric conditions, I don't know. Please let me know. But James May did that and though the pilot and James May both had fairly substantial and kind of purposeful looking helmets on.
Oh, very substantial.
Well,
yeah.
and
well, even the fact that
Katy Perry had
even the
salon
fact that
perfect
they
hair.
were like, "Oh my God, look at this!" and it's like the first thing you'd have to do is pull some kind of a screen down over your face. You'll burn your
James May does that.
You'll burn your fucking eyes out if you look at the sun up there. You'll tear your retinas into pieces. You'd at least have to, in my understanding of this again, you'd at least have to have some kind of a screen, some kind of glasses as shield. You'd have to pull a black screen down. That's part of what space helmets.
It looked like a fucking. They looked like they were doing a cover shoot for like Vanity Fair or something.
Yeah, they looked great. I mean,
Yeah,
they
all
looked
look great. Their hair looked great. You know, all of them are pouting in the pictures.
Yeah, 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
No, I'm just saying they looked. Astronauts, be they male or female. Okay, say it's males then. Okay, let's say 6 males. Right. They're not like going with their hair fucking sharp and, you know, concealer on to make their skin. They're not, Mark. They're not. They're going. Have you seen astronauts? Go and look at them. Go and look at the last guys who went up. Look at the last 2 who got stuck up there. Mm-hmm. There's a man and a woman. Do any of them look photo shoot ready?
Again, did they get stuck up there though?
I don't think they got stuck up there.
I don't know if we know that.
But what I'm saying is they didn't look like
they were older people. They'd both come back with grey hair. Yeah, you know, her hair was kind of grey, and at some points you could see the roots, and then she comes out with perfectly black hair. I mean,
what I'm saying is they didn't look like
did
they
she
were
take,
shooting the
you
cover
know,
of
did she
Vanity
take
Fair.
some Just for Men up there?
I've never seen Katy Perry look that good.
I think she went through a period recently of looking a bit filthier when I think she was dancing. She was dancing to some house music, and I think that made me think, right,
She was dancing
yeah.
behind black coffee or something.
I
mean, again, it's not even about their appearance. It's about the fact that they've had hair and makeup and all that shit done.
I mean, that's women. I don't blame them for that. They want to look good, but I mean,
okay, well,
it doesn't seem safe. I would imagine there'd have to be some.
Oscar De La Renta. I think it was Oscar De La Renta's team that designed in collaboration with Jeff Bezos. Well, he said, I want them to look approachable so that people see spaces. What the fuck are you talking about? It's the fucking safety equipment. It's
a safe space.
It's safety equipment. It's fucking safety equipment.
Well, I think you're getting confused with sort
Star
of
Wars.
political opinions running against health and safety legislation. I think what you're trying to do is conflate like political beliefs with health and safety regulations.
Anyway,
I guess the main thing is, what do you guys think?
Yes, we could be wrong, of course.
I don't think we stuck strongly to one opinion. We just have some questions is basically where we are.
Yeah.
But I don't have a firm, fixed opinion on whether they did or didn't. I'm willing to believe either. It just didn't altogether look completely legit, and there were many arguments for it not being. But there's also one solid argument that it did. There you go.
Or is this just a nail?
He showed you pictures of it.
Another nail in the coffin for celebrities, and we're just sick to fuck of them, which me and you have talked about for decades.
Yeah, well, we've never.
We've met a lot of celebrities, and some of them are very impressive, and most of them are nothing to write home about. But some of them are very impressive, but that's just like
especially actors or some of those sort of more handpicked. If I look at a singer's, like if I look at a song that I like, and I look at the song credits,
right,
and their name is not produced or right, they just perform, then to me you're just a meat puppet.
Right.
You have a nice voice, and that's something that's great, but you're just a synthesizer. Yeah. You're a guitar. You're an instrument.
Well, who's the biggest knob you've met? Celebrity, the biggest dick you've met? Do you think?
Pharrell.
Pharrell was charmless.
Charmless, yeah. Not necessarily a knob. Why? Can you think of anybody else? I can think of a lot of nice celebrities I've met. And I'm sure if I sat around and thought about it, I mean, I met a bunch of them.
I didn't particularly like Catherine Zeta-Jones. She was okay.
Yeah, she was a bit, again, the best I could describe her was charmless. She didn't necessarily do anything wrong, except for when we went out that night in Milan and she was with Mick Hucknall at the same time as she was starting to date.
She wasn't not nice, but she wasn't.
No, but we went out that night with her and Mick Hucknall from Simply Red, and they were like, yeah, guys. And our whole thing was to sort of...
Mick Hucknall, he was a twat.
He was a twat, you're right.
I don't know if you
That's
even know
right,
who
that's
Mick
a good
Hucknall is,
example.
but he's a Manchester singer in from a band called Simply Red from the 80s and early 90s, probably. And our dad used to listen to his music.
So to break it down, we are from Manchester. We are both from government-owned housing, right? Like a council estate project. So is Mick
That's
Hucknall.
us and Mick
We are from
Hucknall,
a part
not both of us.
Us and Mick Hucknall. We were born in a hospital called Tameside Hospital. When I left Manchester, but I was going to Tameside College, which is where Mick Hucknall went to. Our mother left us as kids. His mother left him as a kid. He was raised by a single father. We were raised by a single father. He loves soul music and we love soul music. And a part of the soul music that we actually like, some of it is Simply Red. Mm-hmm. So when we met him, we were like, hey, man, we got a lot in common, you know.
But out of manners, really, we just kept our mouth shut. We said hi and we were polite to him and we didn't try and engage him in conversation. And, hey, we like your music. Do you want to be best friends?
No.
And we had some decorum. Catherine Zeta-Jones didn't have any decorum with him. She had practically had his cock in her mouth within 5 minutes.
But
I love your music.
But
I'm sure, and I don't know, but there'd be some good evidence to say that later on that night,
yeah, for sure.
she
but,
got dicked down by. But hey, that's just a rumor. I was only
it's
there.
It's not as if we were there. Or anything.
I was only there. What do I know?
But anyway,
I was only
we
there.
weren't in the room at that point. To be fair,
got left in the middle of my
they
life.
just got abandoned as they got in the limousine and said, "Hey guys, work it out for yourself."
You're
and
not
we were
getting in.
And we were like, "Okay, thanks, guys."
Left
we are
me in the arse end of Italy.
We
Don't know where I
have
am.
no idea where we are. We can't speak the lingo. But whenever we were engaged with him, we just keep it very small talk. Oh yeah, we're also from Manchester. All right, yeah, well I'm from the rough side. All right, yeah, cool. Us too. Yeah, we're not from a good neighbourhood either. Yeah, I'm from. I said
the Moss Side end of Trafford.
I thought he was from Trafford, which is a little bit nicer. And he goes, yeah, the Moss Side end. It's like saying, I thought you was from Brentwood. Yeah, I'm from the Compton end of Brentwood. What the fuck is he talking
The
about?
Watts end of Brentwood.
And he's not even from either of those places, by the way. But whatever.
I know.
And then remember, we were working for Vivienne Westwood.
And I was in a club, and the paparazzi tried to photograph him, and I was stood in front of him in a fucking light-coloured kind of tan, goldy suit.
Right.
And he fucking launched a red wine at the cameras, but he could see me right in front of him. He just threw red wine all over me.
Yeah.
And then went back to sleazing on a girl.
And it was like, it wasn't as if he was waiting for his opportunity to launch
throw
that
a
red
glass of wine
because
on me, yeah.
the photographer wasn't hampering him and bothering him, just kind of panning a camera around, and he couldn't wait for a camera to look at him so he could throw the red wine over the camera and everybody around, and it's like, I don't know.
Just to give you a list of celebrities who are cool. Paris Hilton, cool. You may have your ideas about her. She's cool. Robbie Williams, a singer from the UK, cool. Lots of nice celebrities.
Tons of DJs are cool.
Yeah, even came across Tom Cruise and he seemed cool enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He stood there with everybody, didn't he? He wasn't a ball bag.
No.
Horrible ones. I'll think of some more. There'll be some titheads that I've met, but I just block them out of my mind.
Normally the titheads are the ones in the middle. Like, I've been treated worse of, like, middling DJs. You know what I mean?
I didn't like Parker Posey. She seems
Well, that
to
was
pop
me who
up on
talked to her. I think she was offended because I had no idea who she was.
Yeah.
And so I was like, sorry, what's your
Get
name?
over
And she's
yourself.
like, Parker Posey. I'm like, oh, cool, Parker, pleased to meet you. I'm Mark. What do you do for a living?
I'm an actress.
I'm an actress. I'm like, oh, great. Well, you know, have I seen you in anything?
Just
You know what I mean?
stick in there.
Like, yeah, don't quit. You know,
was
good
like,
for
yeah.
you. You're in the right place.
And she's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it wasn't like we were introduced to her and...
Yeah, remember Jewel as well. She was a bit rude. Who
Was she,
would say you're a bit miserable? There's no real excuse for being
Couple of
miserable.
supermodels. Naomi Campbell.
Yeah. Naomi Campbell was awful, and that's weird because
A dark vibe.
a dark vibe, and that's weird because I always had a massive crush on Naomi Campbell in that Michael Jackson "Keep It in the Closet" video. I remember she fell
she's
down
hot.
at a Vivienne Westwood show once, and I'm like, man, that girl is just.
If I ever met Naomi Campbell, wow.
So smoking hot, and then I met her in Cannes, and I'm like, damn, she's kind of ashy in real life, and she got a bad vibe, and I don't mean
Got that
bad like.
stress alopecia from...
Yeah, I don't mean bad like just like dark and there's something going on, which I suspect there were.
Yes.
But just unattractive in real life. From what I was convinced was my like dream woman, and she was just so rough in real life, just bad vibes.
Unpleasant, bad vibes.
Yeah, but then again, more often than not, I've met more positive than negative. To be fair, because the bigger guys tend to be very, very nice. You know, we've been around a lot and they tend to be very nice. It's a different subject, isn't it? I'm sure Katy Perry would be very nice if you met her.
Probably, yes.
You know, my guess would be she'd be very nice. Probably all those women in that inflatable tent were extremely nice individuals. It's not a judgment on them. It's just asking questions about what the fuck is going on. We all feel like we live in a simulation and we're all a little bit fucking sick of it, right, guys? We're all a bit sick of it. So, yeah. Anything else to add, Alistair?
Nope, we might be wrong.
Again, I don't know. Wrong about what? We're not wrong to say we're suspicious. I'm not telling you what happened. So how can I be wrong? I'm saying I'm suspicious.
Well, then in that case, no, I've got nothing else to add.
Hey?
Well, in that case, no, I have nothing else to add.
Okay, then. There you go. Let us know what you think. Alistair takes offence if you call him insane. I think it's mildly amusing and potentially true. So, yeah.
I don't. I just take offence when you call me a tit and I come back at you with something and you go, oh, my God, fuck you. Okay, there's no discussion here. There's no discussion. I go, what do you think about this? And they go, you're a retard. Fuck me.
Alistair's making the R word great again.
We can say the R word again, can we? Oh, God. I'm sorry, guys, if that offends you. I don't mean to offend anybody.
To be fair, that's not, in British vernacular, that's not as an offensive of a word.
Well, there's many things. We say the C word as an almost...
Well, what they say over here is spaz, which is a word that in Britain is actually quite offensive.
Yes.
This
doesn't mean to anybody. I don't mean offence to anybody who's in any way impaired. I'm pretty impaired myself. If you know anything about my history, you know my medical history. I'm fairly impaired. I'm sitting here with a pacemaker, a bunch of surgeries. Anyway, I won't go on to that.
Fairly retarded,
and I am pretty retarded. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thanks for checking in. Love you guys, and hope to see you all soon.